It's gonna. It'll work. No, I'm not recording it. Oh, yes, I am recording. Hi and welcome. It's week 13 of your RaFFLe fantasy football season. And let me be honest with you, I owe you a lot more than you're going to get today as the final regular season week. But I did have a small bit of excitement yesterday that is carried into today. So I'm going to need to make this brief, but yet still factual. I promise you this, as your intrepid weekly reporter, I will not sacrifice the truth for speed. You're always going to get the truth out of it. So just the briefest of recaps. So it is the holiday season, as you can see here, and at the RaFFLe household, we really do it up here. We do it up so much, in fact, that yesterday when I walked outside at about noon to hang the Christmas lights with the help of Dirty Bird's owner, at some point, not really exactly sure when, but at some point, it appears I may have driven a metal stake through what I believe some people call a water line. I don't know if you've done this before. It's a hollow pole. It has kind of, we've crimped it at the bottom, nail into the ground so that you can hang, put something on it so that it doesn't blow away with the wind. And when you drive something like that into a water pipe, per se, PVC of course, you feel a little resistance. You hit it, at first it says, hey, you are now stopped. You can't go any deeper than this. But this is Florida. You can go pretty deep here. It's all pretty much sand down there, right? So it just needs a little bit of encouragement sometimes. So that's what I did. I gave it a little bit of encouragement in the form of a hammer with a block of wood on top of it. So I just assumed I was hitting like a rock, a root, the things you find down here in sunny FLA. So I continued to drive because I needed it. It was about this much too high. It was this much too high. So I went ahead and proceeded to use a little more force, which resulted in a geyser of water shooting from the ground where that pipe was. And because it was hollow, it was coming out that tube as if it had found a new pipe. So panic ensues at this point, as you might imagine, as I run to find, how do I turn off the water again at this house? Because I really have never done it before. And you know me, I'm more of a call the guy to fix it. You know what I'm saying? So some time goes by as I'm running around. I find how to turn the water off. And again, with the assistance of Dirty Bird's owner, we do manage to quell the onslaught of water. It was interesting because at one point the meter is right there by the on-off switch, and I didn't know that meters could spin that fast without the cartoon spring break and boing boing noise. But it spun pretty damn quick. So that'll be interesting this month. So at any rate, we got the water off. We then proceeded to make some changes to PVC. And it turns out there's like 3 pipes there. Not only did I completely drive it through the first one, but I've also impacted the second one. So we replaced the first pipe. We then realized, there's a little more water coming out when we turn the water back on. So we had to build a little Jivik thing. It's not pretty. To get around because there wasn't a lot of room there and they're all on top of each other. And that seemed to go pretty well until we turned on the water, at which point it was drip, drip, drip. And water is just one of those things. You need it, you hate it, you love it. And I didn't want to lose the trip, right? So that's where I'm headed back to the front yard here shortly. Rick Lederman, for those of you familiar with his PVC work, will be joining me this morning for what I like to call repair. So we're going to see how that goes, but I did want to give you just the briefest of recaps of where we're at, because this is a huge week. So I'm going to run through the standings here, let you know who's going to try the playoffs, who should just go ahead and call it a day, and then we'll get back together. For those of you that won't be viewing anymore because your season is officially over, it's been a great season. It's not really been. But I really didn't give it a try, so that's there. Next year, I think what we need to do is we really need to talk about getting a new commissioner. I'm happy to stick around, participate in some manner, but I'm really starting to, I think, reach my wit's end. But more on that later, okay? Let's jump to the Wales division. So the Wales division, of course, was wrapped up very early by the onslaught of JW and his classified boys. 10-2, they look to finish out the season running away with the Wales division. They've $150 richer. Their first playoff appearance, I believe, as well as first-time money. I guess that makes sense, right? They might have won in the playoffs earlier. I should have looked that up beforehand, but I'm not really a good reporter. So then, after classified, who will be taking a bye next week? Maybe I think I heard they were going to St. Martin. Big W's and tight ends. It comes down to who's going to win those games there. The W's are playing somebody that was halfway decent, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, that's the window that I closed. So I'll stall as I open that up for you. How's this for live television folks? No, but seriously, the thing you need to know is that the tight ends do have the tiebreaker against your big W's. And I'm not going back and editing that little stumble. You're going to have to live with it. So the good news is that the tight ends, I don't know if it's good news for really the big W's, but the tight ends have the tiebreak against the W's. And this week the W's, see how I stalled there, are playing the Jerks, so the W's will win. And the tight ends are playing classified. It's classified. I'm not sure about that. So what's going to happen here is if the W's win and if both teams win, tight ends are in. If the W's win, then the tight ends are out because in will become the Rolling Thunder. The Rolling Thunder have the third most points in their division at 1,226. The tight ends are 126 points behind that. So basically, the tight ends win and you're in, lose and you're out, and the Rolling Thunder will take your slot. So stick around for that. That should be entertaining, right? That's very easy. What that means, though, for the Steel Curtain and Jerk Store is it's a thanks for playing. We'll see you all next year. Enjoy your drafting. So then let's jump up to the Campbell division, and this one is a little bit more of a mess. The Spankos, as he let everyone know last week, backdoored into a conference championship of the weakest division with pretty much the lowest points I've ever seen from a conference champion. But, you know, it's why we play the games, right? So the Spankos get $150, and they're taking a week off. I heard for their week off, they're planning on going to the city dump to see if they could, find something there for the holidays. We've got a 3-dog race at this point. You got the Red Eye Blind, you got the Livid Llama, and the Dirty Birds, all knotted up 5 and 7. One of these guys, maybe two, will get into the playoffs. We're going to the playoffs. Only one of them. Hi, that's where I was going. Only one of them is going to get in based on record. So let's run this down for you. It's really quite simple because, thankfully, the Livid Llamas play Red Eye Blind. So that means that we're going to obviously break the tie with that game today. Should the Livid Llamas win, they're in. They own the tiebreaker against the Dirty Birds. So all the Llamas have to do, the lovable Livid Llamas have to do, is beat the hated Red Eye Blind. With that victory, the Llamas secure second place, and when it goes to third place. At third place, it gets a little interesting. Because in third place, you've got, on points, Red Eye Blind at 1082 with about a 13-point lead over Heart Attack. So should the Llamas win, the Red Eye Blind's got a 13-point lead to hold off the Heart Attack. Dirty Birds don't have a prayer to get in on points. Now, should the Dirty Birds win and the Red Eye Blind win, the Dirty Birds have the edge against Red Eye Blind. So that would give the Dirty Birds second place overall, and then we would go to points for there. Similar to Red Eye Blind's 13-point lead over Heart Attack, he's got the same 13-point lead over the Livid Llamas. However, you would have to assume that he outscored the Llamas to win. So the Llamas would be out. So basically, the Llamas win, they're in. They lose, they're out. Except if the Red Eye Blind wins and the Dirty Bird... Well, if Red Eye Blind wins... See how this is going for me today? If Red Eye Blind wins, then it comes down to the Llamas and the Heart Attack, who outscored who to get into the playoffs. That's where I was really going with this. So basically, with Llamas and Hot Attack tied for the third most points, if the Llamas lose, they've got to outscore Hot Attack. The Llamas win, they're in. Red Eye Blind. If they win, they're not necessarily in because they don't have the tiebreak advantage against Dirty Birds. So if they win, they need a Dirty Birds loss for second place. Or if the Dirty Birds win and they win, they need to outscore Hot Attack or not be outscored by Hot Attack by 13 points. Okay? I think I got that. The Dirty Birds lose and you go home. Win and you're in. Unless the Livid Llamas win too, then you go home. All right. So basically, I think I got it straight that time. That means the Squirrels are the only team in this division that don't have a chance to get in the playoffs. It's been lovely to have you this year. I hope everything goes well. They are remotely, they're 29 points behind Hot Attack. They could have a spectacular week and blow up and get in there, but it would be spectacular. So I wouldn't hold your breath. Hot Attack, they're hoping that the Llamas lose. Because if the Llamas lose, they're now kind of in the driver's seat to get in based on points. I think I got that straight. I'm sure you'll let me know if I didn't, but I think I did. So, just on the off chance that we go that other tiebreaker, I just want to remind everybody of tie breaks. You got the first tiebreakers head-to-head, as we discussed. The next one is conference record, which is actually what the Llamas have over the Dirty Birds. They split their head-to-head games, but the Llamas have the better conference record. After that, it then goes to total points. Now, if somehow the Llamas, Hot Attack, Squirrels, somehow there's total points, it then goes to head-to-head total points. I haven't looked that up. Let's leave that as a surprise. We'll have another video recording if we have to go to that head-to-head total points scored. And let's hope it's a three-way head-to-head total points scored. If we do, I can promise you this. I will get another person in here so that we can have a live sword fight while we look that shit over. All right? I know that gets you hot. It's getting me a little bit hot. I need to go take care of some business. You guys, again, thanks for everything this year. Thanks for being you. Thanks for tuning in. And we will have a postseason review, but I know that my viewership is going to go from about 3 viewers down to 1. So to everyone, please, the merriest of holidays and the happiest of New Year's and best wishes during these RaFFLe playoffs. And my cheeks are killing me from smiling so hard.